We have learned valuable lessons and gained a wealth of experience in our journey to entrenching democracy.
African Peer Review Nigeria signs MOU promises to sustain efforts at deepening democracy on the continent. Thousands of urban poor to benefit from federal government's intervention fund. Justice Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs reviews homegrown school feeding following disruption by COVID-19. How did schools resume across the country amidst second wave of COVID-19?
I believe we actually can observe all safety measures and keep ourselves safe and at the same time learn.
Also tonight, shutdown of registration at NIMSI headquarters elicits different reactions. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Michael Olaleye will be reading from while Zinret Dingmoon is in Jos. Nigeria has promised to sustain efforts at charting Africa's renewal and rebirth towards deepening healthy democracy, good governance and sustainable growth. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this at a virtual signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Committee of Heads of State and Government participating in the African Peer Review Mechanism and the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the second peer review process. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
A second peer review process is necessitated by Nigeria's implementation of the National Program of Action formulated towards addressing observed governance challenges and strengthening best practices in the nation's democracy, political and economic governance. President Muhammadu Buhari, who noted with pride the steady progress being made in Africa's peer review mechanism as a self-monitoring tool towards addressing governance deficit, reaffirmed the commitment of his administration to good governance practices enshrined in the vision and ideals of NEPAD.
Our administration has continued to vigorously pursue security, economic diversification, and anti-corruption as the main thrust of national change agenda. The totality of this strategy is premised on the promotion of democracy, respect for the rule of law and human rights, gender equality, and by far the largest investment in social change in Nigeria's post-independence history.
Nigeria, he said, is keen on joining the League of African Union member states undergoing the second peer review exercise as a firm demonstration of her belief in the dividends of democracy.
We have learned valuable lessons and gained a wealth of experience in our journey to entrenching democracy and good governance in all manifestations since the restoration of democracy in 1999. We must stay the course and continue on this pathway to a peaceful, secure, and more democratic Nigeria. My consent in signing the MOU further attests to Nigeria's commitment in promoting good governance, faster development, and sustainable growth.
Both the APRM Continental Secretariat as well as the lead panelists on the review exercise were convinced that Nigeria's success in the second peer review process will be Africa's success.
The APR panel and the Continental Secretariat are ready to accompany you in this important exercise of self-assessment and self-improvement.
You will agree with me that it's not very easy, that oftentimes people will subject themselves to be checked and to be investigated. So that shows clearly the intention of this government when it comes to transparency and accountability.
Amongst the benefits to be derived from Nigeria's second peer review process includes the entrenchment of good governance as well as consolidating the gains of democracy.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your courage and commitment to the challenging exercise that puts you right in your pursuit for transparency and change mantra.
Nigeria has demonstrated leadership by example. You talk of social intervention, you talk of infrastructure, human capital development, fighting corruption, stability of economy. This administration has really done well.
First reviewed in 2008, Nigeria is said to have recorded some accomplishments in the implementation of the National Program of Action as a major deliverable of the country's self-assessment report. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Imo State Government is soliciting federal government's intervention in support of its renewed efforts at controlling and containing the second wave of coronavirus pandemic impacting negatively on lives and livelihoods. Governor Hope Uzodimma made the request when granted audience by President Muhammadu Buhari. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo brings us details.
The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, who clocks 1 year in office, was in the State House to brief President Muhammadu Buhari on his accomplishments so far and solicit support in areas of difficulty. One of such is the battle against COVID-19.
That the number of people testing positive and dying now is on the increase. And the state government alone cannot, as a matter of honesty, summon the capacity and the resources to address this menace. We need equipment, we need oxygen, we need well-equipped isolation centers, we need to test more. And Mr. President has promised that he will intervene.
Already, he said, sanctions have been introduced by his administration for any violation of the safety protocols towards reducing the spread of the pandemic.
A few days ago, I issued an executive order to make not wearing mask a crime. So any moment from now, we begin to arrest you in Imo State if you don't wear mask. I've given a 14 days ultimatum for all coming into Imo State to wear their face mask and comply with NCDC protocol or be arrested and be tried. I've created 6 mobile courts to handle those program, so that we don't joke. It's better we offend people that have refused to comply and get them punished than to allow this thing spread everywhere in Imo State.
The governor used the opportunity to formally thank President Muhammadu Buhari for approving the award of contract aimed at tackling what he called the most terrible erosion site in Owerri, the state capital, describing the gesture as fulfilling. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Away from the State House, more than 3,000 urban poor to benefit from federal government's COVID-19 interventions fund of 5,000 naira per beneficiary for 6 months. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will tomorrow flag off the pilot scheme with beneficiaries drawn from 4 political wards, 2 each from Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, who made this known to the press at the State House, says the federal government will also continue the National Homegrown School Feeding Program once schools reopen.
Well, the government is doing its best to see that this program is being sustained. And don't forget that there's budgetary allocation for that, for the 2020, as well as for the 2021. So it's a program that will continue, hopefully, beyond even this administration.
And now our states responding to this?
Of course, they are. We are in talks with the states to see how we are going to enhance the program, to see how they're also going to make their own contribution into the program.
In another development, the Homegrown School Feeding Program of the federal government that was disrupted last year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and later modified to take home rations is set to commence as schools resume. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has organized the 4th annual review of the program with focal persons across the country in Abuja. Ruth Aguele reports.
It was a life-changing experience for many children who could not afford a meal at school.
when the federal government Homegrown school feeding program kicked off under the National Social Investment Program. Now schools are back in session, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is already strategizing on how to strengthen the program for the beneficiaries by bringing together focal persons from across the country for the 4th annual review of the Homegrown school feeding program to share experiences and successes and also profile solutions to challenges.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development remains committed to providing the necessary support and the enabling environment for social protection and inclusion policies to grow and take root in the fabric of our nation so that future generations will thrive and succeed in a growingly competitive world.
I urge you all focal persons and program managers, as well as all other stakeholders here present, to continue to support the ministry in the most coordinated way to achieve the mandate of improving the lives of vulnerable Nigerians that are targeted in these programs, especially the Nigerian child.
And as the president of the country has expanded or maybe allowed for the expansion of the program, we hope to see more beneficiaries keying into the program, and we want to see more commitments.
As key players of the program continue their review in the next few days, the expectation is for an improved coordination at all levels towards actualizing the goal of keeping children in schools and reduce poverty. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the federal government's drive of ensuring every child has unhindered access to education and the engagement of youths in productive ventures in the Northeast has been described by Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State as a recipe to ending insurgency. Professor Zulum made the assessment at separate meetings with the Minister of Education, Adamu, and Executive Chairman, Federal Character Commission, Dr. Mohiba Dankakar in Abuja. Oluseya Adebo tells us more.
For more than a decade, education and socio-economic activities have been disrupted by the activities of insurgents, a development that both the federal and northeast state governments are working to address, with the recent approval by federal government to establish Federal Polytechnic in Mongunu, following a bill to that effect by Representative Mohammed Mongunu. Governor Babagana Zulum visited the Federal Ministry of Education to acknowledge the gesture.
A letter to the President for the approval of the College of Education has already been written. So we are going to get the College of Education this year too.
God has answered our prayer today, and it will go a long way in boosting our educational drive.
Governor Zulum was also at the Federal Character Commission to advocate fairness in the country's recruitment process to ensure that disadvantaged states are given due considerations.
In fact, not only Borno State, the entire Northeast sub-region, in terms of the total percentage of workforce that we have in the federal system, is lean, and therefore soliciting for your support with a view to ensuring that our sons and daughters are being recruited into the federal system.
I would like to assure Your Excellency that Borno State will get its fair share, just as your interface with other stakeholders.
There is the optimism from all that more development will come to Northeast, with peace returning as a result of the success being recorded by the military in the fight against insurgents. Oluseya Adebo, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Education says no COVID-19 test is required for returning students to be admitted into their schools. A statement by the Director of Prex and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Education, Ben Bemgun, says only temperature checks should be carried out on students and any other person crossing any school gate. School authorities should therefore refrain from asking students or parents to undergo COVID-19 test before they are accepted back to their schools. Public and private schools across the country have resumed classes amidst the second wave of COVID-19. Najatu Tijani has the situation report.
In Kwara State, Damilola Balogun reports that primary and secondary schools have resumed for the second term academic session.
We have fumigated the school environment and there are sanitizers.
I've instructed the security. Any student without nose mask should not enter.
In Osun State, correspondent Adams Abdulkadir reports the same situation, with schools complying with COVID-19 protocol.
Once their children are coming to school, they should give them an advice not to share anything with any student.
Meanwhile, schools in the Federal Capital Territory resumed this Monday, but the resumption is still subject to review, says the chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, amid reports of increasing cases.
Briefing the teachers, social distance is being observed, and you see our children with face masks.
I believe we actually can observe all safety measures and keep ourselves safe and at the same time learn.
The committee says infection cases increased in week 2 of 2021 and the FCT continues to record new cases, with 54 being the latest figure as at 17 January 2021 in the FCT. The federal government insists on strict compliance with COVID-19 protocol, including effectiveness of symptoms reporting, monitoring, rapid testing and tracing of suspected cases, among other guidelines. Schools are reopening after months of disruption caused by the pandemic. Meanwhile, the effects of these policies and measures on educational objectives and learning outcomes are still being monitored. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
More on schools resumption. Let's take you to Lagos, where Michael Olaleye guides us. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Kene. As most schools in the country resume classroom activities Monday, the major concern is adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols. Our Yusuf Jibo visited some schools within the Lagos metropolis to monitor students' turnout and safety measures put in place by schools.
At the gate of the school, we saw this banner which says, "No face mask, no entry." This already set the tone for what is to be expected. Hand-washing points were spotted within the school premises, though no student could be seen as they had already settled in for the business of the day.
Becoming what? Whoever has gone to the universities to study pharmacy.
Mansoura Tijani is the principal of Agnus Memorial High School. Monitoring compliance with safety protocols is one of her key duties. Masked up as example to others, she emphasized that the school is doing everything within its means to ensure safety of its students.
So that all students must put on their nose masks, which will ensure that compliance is 100%. Then also washing of hands regularly, we educated them on it, and use of hand sanitizer.
Shomolu Senior High School has the same standards. The students say complying with laid down COVID-19 safety protocols is a strict rule for all.
Provision of social amenities for the COVID-19, like the buckets with running tap for washing hands, hand sanitizers, and sometimes they can offer nose masks to students that don't tend to have.
All the students in the school are using the nose masks and we are washing our hands always.
These schools and many others in Lagos have started with safety as their watchword. Observers are optimistic that maintaining these standards will significantly discourage the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Traders affected by the recent fire outbreak at the Ijesha market are still at the scene, searching for the rubble with the hope of finding valuables among what is left from the sad incident. Amaka O has an update.
This is what is left of 196 Ijesha Market Road. This building was built in the early 1980s, but now is a shadow of itself after the recent fire that razed down the entire building. Owners of the building say that the building has been barricaded for security reasons as they await the Lagos State Building Control Agency to embark on an integrity test on the building. They also say they await a directive of the appropriate authorities before any form of reconstruction can be carried out.
That is why we are even still here this morning. Maybe we can still see something to gather again. We want the government to stand for us so this building can still be like before, more than even beautiful than before.
We just depend on God and those individuals God's going to use, but mainly speaking, we need help.
And opposite me are petty traders who, for them, life goes on as they have displayed their wares and have begun trading in earnest. From Ijesha Market Road in Mushin local government area of Lagos State, Amaka O, NTA News.
Time now for our first commercial break, and when we return, we'll be linking up with Zinret in our Just Network Center for more on school's resumption.
JJ has always been my father's hero. So this year, I wanted to do something really special. If I could just talk to JJ, I'm sure he would remember Dad. Mom says never give up. Hello JJ, it's me Victor. My dad's birthday is coming up soon and I want to surprise him. And she was right. I have been looking for you everywhere. Please help me.
Hi Samuel, happy birthday, it's JJ. Happy birthday to my man.
My dad is my hero, but now JJ is too.
The best data plans in town. Find your first. Dial *777#.
For you to tanda for this world, you got know what's up. Sabi waiting day ground, then start to do your own. Get ginger to sabi every. Because when you fit see the different side of the world, anything they possible. BBC News for Pidgin. Make your life better.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. Its great value, it protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Are you a secondary school student in exit class, or are you preparing for WAEC, NECO, JAMB, NAPTEB, or any exit examination, and you want success in one sitting without the help of any miracle center or the risk of examination malpractice? Then the School Aid app is all you need to succeed. The School Aid app will guide you to study and prepare for examination with ease and comfort. The School Aid app makes learning easy and fun. The School Aid app will be live soon. For more info, visit www.schoolaidapp.com. School Aid app, we aid you to success.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Follow the grandmother.
Mama, what am I baby?
With our
our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Mama, me now want send money. Make me now collect for school. Oh, be now one withdraw from your account. But you know. Bill plus recharge Go TV. Nishi for no go Miss Telemundo. Tamuno say she won't buy data for phone. Waiting them go use. Na Momo, them go use. Na Momo agents, them go use you.
Now with your Momo agent, you fit send and receive money, plus to withdraw money for your bank account without card or data. You fit also buy airtime and data or pay any kind bill where you want. Just dial *223# to see the Momo agent when near you. Momo agent, safe, fast, no wahala.
Staying with us. As academic activities resume, stakeholders in the education sector in Plateau State have expressed satisfaction with the level of compliance with the COVID-19 safety protocols. Felicia Daliop Samaila, who visited some schools, is on standby with the situation report.
Academic activities commence in schools following the federal government directive to reopen schools on the 18th of January 2021.
We liaise with the community clinics provided by government at the PHC level. For any identification of symptom, they will rush them to be isolated so that they don't infect the other students.
In schools visited, students and pupils were excited to be in school after a long period of non-academic activities.
I feel happy that finally resumed school.
They always make us to wear our face masks.
To further ensure safety, the schools have made provision for sanitary facilities to improve on personal hygiene, calling on parents and guardians to support in the fight against coronavirus.
You must maintain social distance. You must have the hand sanitizer and you must have your face mask on all the time.
Some parents appreciate government for the initiatives, promising to abide by the COVID-19 safety protocols.
There's no entry without face masks in this school. They are very strict with it.
It would be recalled that the school's resumption date was shifted due to the second wave of COVID-19. In Jos, Felicia Daliop Samaila, NTA News.
Secretaries to the government of the 19 northern states are in just to find workable solutions to challenges in the region. Kim Gotts has details.
Secretary to the government of Kaduna State, Alhaji Balarabe Abbas Lawal, who led the delegation, said they were in the state to review some of the pending issues of the Northern Governors Forum, including reports that have been pending for many years. He says the meeting, which is at the instance of the governors, will look at the reports on security, economic development, education, health, investment, youth employment, among other issues critical to the progress of the region.
Toward the end of the last chairmanship of the Northern Governors Forum, it was decided that in view of the issues around NNDC, that there's a need for the governors to establish a committee that will review the entire function of the NNDC, see how we can make it more competitive in the Nigerian economy.
Governor Lalong appreciated the support of the secretaries to the various northern states for their service and sacrifices to the growth of the region.
The menace of the Majority system, that is also be part of it, because we started but we have not concluded. So we need to conclude that. We need to educate them, to find a good place for them.
He said if they do not work in synergy and collaboration with one another, it will be difficult to tackle issues of insecurity. In Jos, Kim Gotts, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. It's back to Kenya in Abuja for more news.
Thank you, Zinret. Now let's go to health. ECOWAS is fronting a regional strategy to acquire COVID-19 vaccines for the region. This, the president of ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrou, considers as a more beneficial and economic approach to get citizens of the community vaccinated. Onengia Fineface reports.
In a presentation to plenary at the ongoing ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrou, says a united front to get the vaccine is the best option for the region.
Is to see how we come together and collectively work to address the issue of the vaccine. Because if we do it collectively, we can have better price. Because we'll be buying instead of for each member country trying to buy for a population of 8, 5, 10, 15, 20 million, we buy together for over 200 million, population size of 200 million.
Members of Parliament want improved funding for the West Africa Health Organization to effectively execute the task of regional vaccination against COVID-19.
You cannot have investments, you cannot take care of education and agriculture, food security, if we do not prioritize expenditure on health.
Even if, for example, Nigeria vaccinates its people, if in Guinea or Ghana or Burkina Faso they have not actually vaccinated their people, we are still the same.
And I'm thinking of malaria. What measures are now being taken to do something about malaria?
ECOWAS Commission also presented the region's monitoring and evaluation policy to Parliament at plenary. Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
COVID-19 vaccines being expected by the federal government will be distributed to Nigerians free of charge at government-designated health facilities. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 at Monday's briefing also assured Nigerians that NAFDAC will validate the vaccines before use. Details will come in our subsequent bulletin. Now let's go to politics, where the All Progressives Congress caretaker of the Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee has promised to come up with a solution that is acceptable to all factions of the party in Kwara State. Niger State Governor and member of the caretaker committee representing North Central Zone, Abubakar Sani Bello, disclosed this shortly after a meeting with stakeholders of the party from Kwara State.
The development in APC Kwara State chapter has prompted reactions from stakeholders and party faithful, and subsequent engagement with the party caretaker committee with a view of finding solution to the lingering crisis. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State briefed the media after the stakeholders' engagement that held behind closed doors.
I hope by next week we should be able to resolve the matter at the zonal level. But whatever decision we take, we'll make sure there is no bias. And whatever decision we take, we'll make sure it's in the interest of our great party, the APC. We have no intention to favor any person, but to look critically at the situation and to advise the National Caretaker Committee on the next necessary steps to take.
He said the caretaker committee will work assiduously towards saving the party in Kwara State, hoping to resolving all issues within 1 week. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has filed a suit before a federal high court, Abuja, praying the court to declare as vacant the seat of former Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, on account of his defection to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Olabode Harawa reports that the PDP is challenging the eligibility of Dogara to remain as a member of the House.
Yakubu Dogara represents DAS Tafa Balewa Buguru Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. His defection to the ruling APC July 24, 2020 is being challenged under Section 68, Subsection 1, Sub G of the 1999 Constitution. Counsel to the plaintiffs, Jibrin, submitted before the court that there was no crisis in the Bauchi State PDP when Dogara defected. His seat should be declared vacant by the Speakers of Representatives, while INEC should conduct a by-election to fill the seats. Speaker of the House of Representatives, INEC and Dugaya, were not represented by counsel in court, but the APC's counsel, Mustafa Balogun,
doesn't have the membership ID card for the APC. And when somebody doesn't have the membership ID card, how can you say that he's a member of APC? And we have checked our record, and
it's for the court to invoke the provisions of Section 3, which provides for the vacation of a seat of a lawmaker who, having been elected on a platform of a party, decided to jump ship midway his tenure, as Mr. Dogara did.
The court has adjourned the matter to February 4th for hearing on the case. In Abuja, Laboderewa, NTA News.
And in security matters, government and people of Yobe State have renewed their commitment of purpose to continue collaborating with security agencies to fight insecurity and emerging security threats in the state. This was among the resolutions reached at a one-day security stakeholders meeting presided by Governor Mai Malabuni in Damaturu, the state capital. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The one-day stakeholder security meeting brought together heads of security agencies, traditional rulers, religious leaders, farmers and herders, vigilantes and hunters, in addition to youth groups, to strategize and agree in principles on how to overcome emerging security threats in the state. Declaring the session open, Governor Mai Malabuni said the meeting followed efforts by the State High-Level Security Conscious and Sensitization Committee, which toured emirate councils and interfaced with relevant stakeholders.
Today's meeting also provides us with an opportunity to assess and conduct a follow-up to the Security Sensitization Liaison Committee to suggest proactive measures of leaving possible threat in the pool well ahead of time.
The meeting dwelled on the findings of the committee, as a lot of security issues were raised during the interaction at various council areas, and therefore the decision by government to adopt practicable and workable strategies to tackle matters associated with security. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Following incredible intelligence on bandits at Bungudu local government area of Zamfara State, troops of Forward Operating Base Keko Wuje responded immediately and eliminated 30 bandits, while 24 cows and several sheep were recovered. Details of recent operations contained in a statement by the coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, indicates that troops deployed at Maradun also responded swiftly to an information on reprisal attack by bandits at Jambako village, a Maradun local government area of Zamfara State, killing 5 in the encounter. Similarly, following the tip-off, 2 suspected bandits collaborators were arrested at Dungun Mwazu village in Sabawa local government area of Katsina State. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the renewal of appointment of Dr. Chidia Maduekwe as the Managing Director, Nigerian Film Corporation, for a second and final term of 4 years. A statement by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boaz Mustafa, indicates that the appointment takes effect from 31st of March 2021. Dr. Maduekwe was first appointed in 2017 as the Managing Director, Nigerian Film Corporation. He promised to build ties between the corporation and industry players, both at national and international levels. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally conveyed to the Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, approval for nomination of Abubakar Nuku Fipo as the Acting Director General of the National Directorate of Employment, pending the appointment of Substantive Director General of the agency. In a statement, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Public Shehu recalls that last month the President relieved the former DG of the agency and directed the Minister to nominate an acting DG to superintend over the agency pending the appointment of substantive DG. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is deploying sophisticated measures towards tackling the wave of drug abuse and trafficking in the country. Brigadier General Buba Marwa made a commitment during his maiden press briefing as the new chairman of the agency. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
2018 statistics shows that 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 to 64 involved in different levels of illicit drugs. This, the new chairman promised to tackle with strategic roadmap to be developed from 2021 to 2025, aimed at eliminating the menace of illicit substances.
I would like to today warn those who engage in the dastardly trades of importation, export, cultivation, processing, manufacture, trafficking, sale, and consumption of illicit substances to stop forthwith.
The new NDLEA started with a successful interception of 21.9 kilograms of cocaine at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. For now, manhunt has been launched on the peddler. Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
You're watching the NTA Network News. We now pause for another round of commercials. Do stay with us.
Is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne. It's able to calm the nerve of the tooth. The proof's in the results. It works. Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne. It's able to calm the nerve of the tooth. The proof's in the results. It works.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
In my house, we may look alike, but we are very different individuals. My adorable twins, they look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, he loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal. It allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber. Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
This is the Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed? What? The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 Naira today. Make you enjoy. GoTV. Love it.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. Fitch sees oil rally lifting Nigeria's external reserves to 16-month high as Nigerian equities market starts the week on a bearish note. Details with Musa Abubakar right here. Good evening.
Good evening. About 300,000 metric tons of maize are soon to be released into the Nigerian market from strategic anchors under the Anchor Borrowers Program of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This, experts say, will reduce the current price of maize from 155,000 per metric ton. Anticipated release follows moves by the CBN in collaboration with the Nigerian Customs Service in the last quarter of 2020 to facilitate import waivers to 4 agro-processing companies to import 262,000 tons of maize to bridge the shortfall in production and augment local production. Global rating agency Fitch sees the external reserves of Nigeria's economy rising to $42 billion by the end of 2021, the highest since September 2019. This the agency attributes to projected average oil price of $53 per barrel compared to the $43.01 per barrel recorded in 2020. Fitch stated that the Naira lost 8.2% of its value against the dollar in 2020 and expects the CBN to allow the official Naira exchange rate to depreciate further over the course of 2021, notwithstanding improved terms of trade and foreign exchange reserves. Now, the Nigerian stock market recorded a negative close for the first trading day of the week. The NSE All-Share Index depreciated by 0.23% to close at 41,082.38 basis points. Market capitalization dropped to 21.4 trillion naira, 738.5 million shares worth 4.1 billion naira exchange hands, and 7,396 deals at the end of the session. The most active stocks for the day were Japan Gold, Universal Insurance, and Transcorp. Well, that's business news. It's back to you, Kenneth.
Thank you, Musa. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has shut its doors to enrollment activities at its headquarters and reactivates 20 centers within the FCT to make the process easier. Joseph Johnson reports.
No more enrollment activities at the National Identity Management Commission's headquarters. Make use of the reactivated centers, the statement said. But the scenario of the Commission's headquarters was that of displeasure by enrollees over the decision.
Everybody voting only one day.
With the deadline drawing closer, impatience and grievances are being expressed, with many afraid of not beating it.
They should extend it too, because most people is not going to get to that their deadline.
The thing is that they should help. Really, it's not favoring us, seriously.
Now, as I'm here right now, somebody that helped me to drop me at the baker. I don't have money to go back.
Meanwhile, visits to some centers in the FCT show that many people are already getting enrolled.
Our plea to the general public is that we have many other centers. Let them patronize those centers rather than coming to the headquarters. And also in Lagos too, we have more than 50 other centers. And we need people to patronize those ones rather than the Ikeja State Capital Office.
There are, however, concerns that as the deadlines count down, scenarios like what happened at the NIMC's headquarters are likely to be witnessed more in the coming days. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Developing the digital skills of the Nigerian youth in driving businesses for a prosperous nation has been described as a critical component of the Nigeria's new economic policy under the present administration. This is the focus of a two-day digital economic summit which opens in Jigawa State. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that NTA's Executive Director News, Mohammed Labo, represented the Director General at the summit.
The theme, creating a viable, innovative ecosystem for economic development, the event seeks to identify Jigawa young talents in digital innovations with critical thinking who will be trained on digital problem solving to improve the local economy. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, who addressed the summit virtually, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Ino Abdullahi, and Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar of Jigawa State spoke on the need to deploy digital technology in the practice of agriculture to facilitate the realization of the nation's quest for independent economy through agriculture.
Agri is one of the most important areas where digital innovation brought about significant changes and revolutions.
We are bringing all key stakeholders together to develop innovation strategy for our states.
How best we can improve in what we are doing. How best we can create jobs around the value chains of those agricultural commodities that we have competitive advantage of producing, at least in Nigeria, and also try to find out how best we can compete globally.
Chairman Senate Committee on Youth and Sports Senator Joseph Obinna Oba and the DG NTA's representative Mohamed Labo were among the 6 panelists who observed that human capital development is key in the realization of the country's economic potentials.
Developing human capital is very, very, very crucial to the overall development of the country.
This is one of the programs Mr. President has done that all Nigerians should key into.
To further affirm the government interest in the agricultural sector, a second round of 140 digital farmers will be trained by the National Adapted Village for Smart Agriculture, a program designed by the NIDA to revolutionize agriculture in the state. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Let's now go to Kenneth Nanim's report, which says COVID-19 vaccines being expected by the federal government will be distributed to Nigerians free of charge at government-designated health facilities.
As the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic rages, attention is shifting to vaccines. A comprehensive COVID-19 vaccine deployment and vaccination plan has already been deployed by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
We're starting from the grassroots, making sure that we engage with traditional leaders, the local leaders, religious leaders. These are the gatekeepers of our communities. This is why, as part of the engagements we've had in the last couple of days, we engaged the Christian religious leaders to really hear what are some of the concerns that they're hearing from their congregation.
Nigeria is participating in the African Union initiative called African Vaccine Availability Task Team, which reports directly to the African Union chairman and has secured 270 million doses of various vaccines for Africa. Bearing in mind the options suitable for our environment and our available infrastructure as well as investment in delivery, Nigeria has written to express interest in 10 million doses of this viral vector vaccine, which could be supplied possibly from March.
Nigerians are assured that the PTF will ensure that the vaccines to be approved will be safe and effective.
Meanwhile, school authorities are strongly advised not to compromise with the non-pharmaceutical measures with the resumption of schools.
All the states will be engaged to increase the number of testing that they are doing.
The PTF is also set to release another list of passport numbers of 100 defaulters of its protocols for mandatory post-arrival COVID-19 tests for inbound travelers to serve as deterrent to others. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
We still have one more commercial break for you on the news, and when we return, sports.
Repositioning of Federal Inland Revenue Services for increased revenue generation and the catalyst of Finance Act 2020. What it's all about in the financial system of Nigeria. That is our focus on Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Incisive and educating. Join us.
Do you know that 35% of every girl child and women are raped on a daily basis? Some are killed in the process. Some take their lives in shame. Others remain emotionally dead for life. It is sad. This culture is not ours, definitely not African. How did we allow bad culture to infiltrate and take over? Even if you lack fear for the law, what of fear of God? And you, why do you cover up rape acts when it happens? Remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Never cover any rape act because a rapist is a murderer. It could be you or your loved ones next. Women must be treated like the prize giant they are. Say no to rape.
Now, sports updates from our sports desk.